This moment of revelation is not merely a rupture, but a synthesis, a culmination of the gradual processes that preceded it. The new world, though it appears suddenly, is not an arbitrary creation. It is born of the tensions, struggles, and developments that had been brewing within the old. The disintegration of the previous world was not random or chaotic, but necessary, paving the way for the emergence of the new. The lightning flash is the moment when this necessity becomes visible, when the Spirit's labor bears fruit and its next stage becomes apparent. Yet this moment of clarity is also fleeting, like the lightning that illuminates the landscape for a brief instant before leaving it in darkness once more. The revelation of the new world does not resolve all tensions or contradictions. It merely sets the stage for the labor of building and inhabiting this new reality. The Spirit must now engage with the task of bringing the revealed shape into full existence, translating the vision of the new world into the concrete structures and forms that will define its actuality. This interplay between gradual disintegration and sudden revelation reflects the dual nature of the Spirit's progression. The Spirit moves through time in a continuous process of becoming, dismantling the old and preparing the new, with a patience that belies the dramatic moments of its transformation. These moments of revelation, while striking, are not interruptions in the Spirit's journey, but necessary expressions of its dialectical movement, a movement that oscillates between quiet preparation and sudden illumination, between the steady labor of dissolution and the instant clarity of creation. In this way, the emergence of a new dawn does not merely signal the end of one world and the beginning of another. It is a reminder of the Spirit's relentless drive to transcend its limitations, to outgrow the forms it once inhabited, and to illuminate the path forward with the light of its own unfolding. The lightning flash reveals not only the contours of the new world, but also the Spirit's capacity for renewal, its power to transform and transcend, and its unceasing pursuit of truth. However, this new entity, no matter how profound its emergence, possesses no more complete reality than that of a newborn child. It is essential not to overlook this point, for its initial appearance represents merely its immediacy or its concept, the first step in a long process of growth and development. This nascent state holds the potential for the fullness of its reality, but it is far from actualizing that potential. Just as a building is far from complete when its foundation has been laid, the achieved concept of the whole is not yet the whole itself. The foundation may outline the structure to come, but it remains an incomplete beginning, requiring sustained labor and time to bring the full edifice into being. Similarly, when we wish to see the grandeur of an oak tree, with the strength of its trunk, the expansive reach of its branches, and the lush abundance of its foliage, we are not satisfied if we are shown merely an acorn in its place. The acorn, though containing the entirety of the oak in potential, does not yet manifest its fullness. It represents the concept of the tree, but it has not yet undergone the transformations required to realize that concept in actuality. To confuse the acorn with the mature oak is to misunderstand the nature of development, which requires both time and the dialectical labor of unfolding. This distinction between the immediacy of the concept and the completeness of the whole is crucial. The concept provides the framework, the blueprint of what is to come, but it does not yet encompass the richness, complexity, and concreteness of the fully realized entity. The new entity, like the acorn or the foundation, is a beginning, not an end. It must pass through stages of growth, encountering contradictions and undergoing transformations before it can reach its full expression. The labor of this progression is not incidental, but integral, for it is only through this process that the new entity can actualize itself as a complete and concrete whole. The impatience to see the whole in its fullness can lead to a dangerous misunderstanding, one that mistakes potential for completion and immediacy for actuality. This misunderstanding risks diminishing the importance of the process, reducing the richness of becoming to a static concept. Yet the beauty and strength of the oak tree lie not in its acorn, but in the journey through which the acorn becomes the tree. The foundation of a building is only the first step toward its completion, and the Spirit's initial emergence into a new epoch is only the concept of that epoch, not its realized form. To truly grasp the significance of a new entity, one must recognize both its immediacy and its need for development. The concept of the whole is an indispensable starting point, but it is through the labor of realization that the concept becomes the whole itself. This labor is neither automatic nor instantaneous. It requires time, effort, and the interplay of contradictions. The oak must grow, endure storms, and stretch toward the light before it can become what it is destined to be. The foundation must support layer upon layer of construction before the building takes its final form. Likewise, the new entity born in the Spirit's transition to a new epoch must evolve, confronting the challenges and tensions of its unfolding before it can fully manifest its truth. Thus, while the emergence of the new is cause for celebration, it must be accompanied by patience and understanding. The immediacy of its appearance is only the beginning of a journey, one that will require time and labor to bring its potential into actuality. To mistake the acorn for the oak is to miss the essence of development, which lies not in the immediacy of the concept, but in the fullness of the process through which the concept becomes reality. Similarly, science, the crown of a world of spirit, is not perfected at its inception. Its beginning, while significant, is only the first stage of an arduous and intricate process. The birth of a new spirit, which lays the foundation for a new epoch of science, is not a sudden or effortless event, but the culmination of an extensive upheaval involving diverse and transformative formative processes. It is the reward of a journey marked by countless twists and turns, setbacks and breakthroughs, as well as repeated efforts and exertions. Each moment in this journey contributes to the eventual emergence of science in its mature and perfected form, but no single moment can claim to embody the whole. The birth of a new spirit arises not from tranquility, but from disruption, a profound reordering of thought, experience, and reality. This upheaval is not random chaos, but a dialectical process in which contradictions are encountered, struggled with, and resolved, leading to the formation of new structures and understandings. The Spirit, in its drive for self-realization, gathers its diverse and often conflicting elements, weaving them into a unity that transcends the fragmentation of the old. The emergence of science as the crown of this process reflects the Spirit's achievement of a systematic and comprehensive understanding of itself and its world. This achievement, however, does not occur in its fullness at the outset. The newly born Spirit represents the whole, but only as a simple concept of itself. It is the whole that has withdrawn into itself, retreating from the multiplicity of its succession and the breadth of its outward extension. This withdrawal does not negate the complexity of the whole, but simplifies it, condensing its essence into a unified concept. The Spirit's self-concept at this stage is both profound and limited. It holds within it the potential for the full articulation of the whole, but it has yet to expand and unfold into the richness of its concrete reality. The process of perfecting science mirrors this journey. Science, in its mature form, is the systematic expression of the Spirit's self-understanding, encompassing both the depth of its inward reflection and the breadth of its outward application. Yet at its beginning, science is a seed, a concept that must grow, develop, and expand through the labor of thought and the engagement with reality. This development is not linear or straightforward, but marked by challenges and transformations as the spirit confronts and integrates the contradictions and complexities of its unfolding. The twists and turns of this path are not obstacles to be avoided, but necessary moments in the spirit's progression. Each effort, no matter how fraught with difficulty, contributes to the maturation of science, refining and enriching its understanding. The spirit's repeated exertions are not signs of failure, but of vitality, reflecting its relentless drive to know itself and to articulate the truth in its fullness. Science, as the crown of a world of spirit, is the product of this ongoing labor, the culmination of the spirit's journey towards self-comprehension. Thus, the birth of the new spirit and the emergence of science as its highest expression are inseparable from the path that precedes them. The simple concept of the whole, which marks the spirit's beginning, is both an end and a new beginning, a point of departure for the labor of realization that will bring its potential into actuality. Science, as the highest form of this realization, must be understood not as a static achievement, but as a living process, continually unfolding and perfecting itself in its engagement with the complexities of thought and reality.